Loras Tyrell is a major character in the popular HBO series, Game of Thrones. He is the eldest son of Mace Tyrell, Lord of Highgarden and Lady Aelry. He is a major member of House Tyrell of Highgarden. Loras is a brave knight and a formidable fighter. He is a master of the sword, the lance, and also skilled in wrestling. He is a winner of tourneys and a champion juicer. Loras is skilled with the sword and is well known for wielding a flaming sword during his jousting matches. He is a member of the King's Guard and a loyal companion to King Renly Baratheon. Though he is loyal to Renly, he despises his younger brother Stannis Baratheon, who claims the Iron Throne. He also takes part in the defense of King's Landing from Stannis' forces. When Renly is assassinated, Loras vows revenge for his death and tries to arrest Stannis. Loras is a religious man and a believer in the faith of Ar-Hillir. Loras and his sister Margaery Tyrell share a close bond and care for each other deeply. His longing for his sister, combined with his grief over Renly's death, causes him to become deeply depressed. Loras is betrothed to Sansa Stark, due to her engagement to King Joffrey Baratheon, but his true love is his squire, Sir Loras of Highgarden, also known as the Knight of the Flowers. Loras is torn between his duty to the Tyrells and his love for Sir Loras of Highgarden. He eventually chooses his obligation and breaks off his engagement to Sansa. Loras visits the Iron Islands to retrieve Theon Greyjoy, who had been captured, and helps preserve the peace between the North and the Iron Islands. He joins forces with Jaime Lannister to reclaim Riverrun from the Freys, and is successful in his mission. He is later sent to besiege Dragonstone to capture Stannis Baratheon. At the Battle of the Blackwater, Loras is grievously wounded by a wildfire explosion. He survives, but his face is extensively scarred and his leg is crippled. During the War of the Five Kings, Loras is arrested by the High Sparrow and imprisoned in the Great Sept of Baelor. He is accused of perjury and homosexual conduct. He confesses to many of the charges and is sentenced to a life of atonement and takes up residence at the Great Sept of Baelor. He is renamed as Brother Loras of the Faith Militant. Loras is eventually released from prison and accompanies his sister Margaery to the trial by combat. He fights against the Mountain but is badly injured and knocked out. He is seen recovering from his injuries and takes part in the Battle of the Bells. He leads the Tyrell forces and fights bravely against the Lannisters. Later, King Tommen Baratheon dissolves the Sparrows and Loras returns to Highgarden. He swears fealty to King Tommen and serves as his new Lord Paramount. Once back in Highgarden, Loras commands its forces at the Battle of the Bastards and helps in the defense against Cersei Lannister and her armies. After the battle is won, Loras bids farewell to his family and allies before journeying to Dragonstone with Jon, Arya, and Theon to fight in the war against the White Walkers. He fights bravely against the army of the dead in the Battle of Winterfell and is even able to destroy a giant. After the battle is won, he is knighted by King Bran Stark. Once the war is over, Loras returns to Highgarden and is appointed as Mace Tyrell's successor. He presides over the Reach in his father's absence with distinction. Later, he follows King Tommen up to the Great Hall of the King's Landing for a summit. Here he is reunited with Margaery and much of their old family and allies. Loras Tyrell is an important character in the Game of Thrones. He is a brave knight, a fierce warrior, and a loyal companion to his family and allies. He is a master of swordplay, a champion juicer, and a member of the King's Guard. He takes part in the defense of King's Landing and fights bravely in many battles. Loras and his sister, Margaery, share a close bond. He is betrothed to Sansa Stark but is in love with his squire, Sir Loras of Highgarden. He is arrested by the High Sparrow and sentenced to a life of atonement. He is released from prison and joins forces with Jaime Lannister to reclaim Riverrun.